Good afternoon, Copers. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is Saturday, January 31st. It is the call-in show. I'm taking your calls. Thank you, Crusader, for the $3.
O slash O slash O slash O slash.
Yes, wonderful. O slash to you too, sir. My heart goes out to you. That was, of course, Hold the Line by Toto. I remembered, I was like thinking, what am I going to do for this week? And then I remembered I started a new tradition last year, which is all love songs all February. And I'm going to make that a yearly tradition. So it's love month. It's love month. It's all love songs all month. I get to pick any love song I want. It's more open. Just kind of makes life easier in a way. That's what we're doing. That's what's up. Hold the Line, maybe one of the best love songs ever written. I'll leave that with you, though. I like it. All right, let's take some calls. Let's take some calls here. Let me do this. Space Godzilla, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take, sir?
How's it going, LP? How's the audio?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Pretty good. I wanted to say, great job on the progress report.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's been going good. I don't know who I'm going to have this coming Wednesday. I'm still working on that. I'm warning you guys now, they can't all be home runs. There's definitely going to have some less exciting lineups. But, you know, we started off strong at least. Go ahead.
I want to talk about that a bit, but first I want to go over the last two.
Sure, go ahead.
So, yeah, Paul Miller and Lily Gaddis were really fun. Paul was great. Lily was really beautiful, too. I can imagine that the Gooners watching must have had a pretty tough time during that stream.
That was you know, just going by view count alone, that's the most successful episode. And so, yeah.
All right. Now the one after that with Leonardo Joni and Gavin McInnes, it was a good show, but it was also kind of awkward. It seemed like Leonardo was getting more and more irritated with Gavin as the show went on.
You know, somebody else said that. I didn't really pick up on that. I think Leonardo, you know, I think she's pretty based, as the kids say, and Gavin is a lot more moderate. I don't think I don't think she was annoyed. Everybody, you know, we know she knows Gavin. I know Gavin. We know what we're getting. It's not, you know, nobody's expecting Gavin to start throwing up Romans or whatever.
Yeah, the only other time I saw Gavin was on that stream where he stormed off after Nick Fuentes got Adam King to admit that Adam would choose to destroy Catholicism over Islam. Do you remember that stream?
I remember it well. Yeah, it was really funny.
Yeah.
Classic moments in alt-right debate history.
I also remember, I only saw this on a clip, not the whole stream, but I also remember Gavin from that time when Destiny said to Gavin, "We agreed to 4 guys a day," and Gavin was just really shocked. You remember that?
I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean what does that even mean? 4 guys a day?
I think they were talking about open relationships, and Destiny said that him and his wife agreed to 4 guys a day. I think.
That's the limit.
Concept.
She's only allowed up to 4 per day. Is that?
Yeah, and Gavin was just blown away by that statement.
Yeah. Well, the thing with Destiny is you never know how serious he's being when it comes to stuff like that. But also, you know, he got divorced, so because whatever they were doing, it didn't work out.
All right, so I wanted to go into progress report recommendations.
Great. Hit me.
All right, so I've been recommending Synthetic Man since July 2024, and since he hasn't been on, I guess he's probably never going to come on, is he?
I mean, I emailed him one time and I never heard back, so that's all I can tell you. And like, he's not easy to get a hold of. I found an email address, you know. I don't know if he got the email, you know, but I don't like sending emails, so just that alone is like kind of a barrier. Like if we are following each other on X and I could shoot him a DM, I'd be more inclined to like try again. But you know,
all right. How about Zoomer Historian? He's got an X.
Yeah, I would invite him. Sure.
Yeah, of course. I brought up because I thought Zoomer Historian and Synthetic Man together would be really fun. But Synthetic Man, you know, like you said, it's unlikely. It'd be cool, but if he's hard to get a hold of, well, I guess there's nothing else you can do, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna start a list for suggestions here. TPR possible guests. Synthetic man, Zoomer, historian. And then I'm going to put in parentheses, together, question mark. Okay.
That sounds great, but Zoomer historian seems a lot more possible because he has an X.
Yeah. X is really the networking app for this, but you know, I could send another email.
All right, so that's all I got for today. Keep up the good work. Love your stuff.
Thank you, Space Godzilla. Always good to hear from you.
Yeah, see you around.
Cheers. Yeah, if you guys want to throw suggestions in the chat, I'll try to keep an eye on it as we go. Frankie Flowers, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take, sir?
Frankie Flowers, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take, sir?
There's an echo. What's
nice
up?
to talk to you again.
Okay, so there's an echo. I can hear myself, and you're like delayed too. I don't know what's going on, but it's not working. Are you?
Oh yes. Apologies. All right, I'll have to turn. How would I mute you? It's okay. Well, the problem is if I hear you, then if I can't hear you.
Well, you're supposed to be in StreamYard. You're not supposed to be like listening to the stream, or this is no good. I'm dropping you. King Jewish, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
What's up, LP? How are you?
Good. How's it going?
Going good. I just picked up groceries, heading back home. Anyway, I wanted to pick your brain a little bit more about what we talked about on the libertarian thing. Right? I wanted to ask you, so your belief is that Jews basically forever have been kind of inherently subversive. Is that right?
I mean, we can leave the inherently part out of it. Let's just say they have been. we don't have to we don't have to call it inherently because, you know, the censors don't like when you use that kind of language, but regardless of the cause, they have been. Okay. Well, I guess it's kind of important for my next trap question I want to ask you. Do you not want to talk about inherent stuff because of YouTube and stuff? Hold on. Just let me respond to this chat real quick. We've had Andrew Wilson on twice, so I don't really want to ask him anytime soon. Although I love having him on because he always brings a big audience. But he has actually done it already like twice in the last 12 months. So don't hold your breath. We can talk about genetics. What's on your mind? What's going on? So I guess what I want to do is, because if you talk to the pagans, you know, they're going to say you worship a Jew, right? And then they're going to say, and that's bad because Christianity is a Jewish psyop. Because any artifact of the Jews is obviously subversive, and Christianity is an artifact of the Jews, you know? Yeah. And I guess maybe before I explore how I would talk about that, how would you answer that objection? I don't give a shit what pagans say, quite frankly. Like these people, they don't believe in God. So I like to, if I'm going to talk religion, I want to talk to Christians. Everybody else is axiomatically wrong. We don't agree on like the basic of what is God, who is God, has God revealed himself to us? Has God told us what he wants from us? If we don't agree on that, then there's not really a lot to talk about. So Duck Respecter sent $5 about that. Thank you. But sorry. No, that's all good. I agree with you. Listen, like the real answer, of course, is that like Jesus is God. You know what I mean? A thought experiment I've engaged in is like, what if Jesus was black? You know what? Like, would that would that like stop me from believing in him? And the answer I've come to is no. Like God could have chosen whoever he wanted, whatever race. It's God. It's not my place to like argue. Yeah, I'm with you. Granted. Yeah, it's like, you know, the problem with God is I don't really like the way he's chosen to do things, so I'm just not gonna like believe in him. Like that to me, that's not how it works. Okay, so I hear you. Yeah, there's kind of a more fundamental problem though. Like, where do you get all the information you have about Jesus Christ? Where does it come to you by? I mean, the Bible mainly, right?
Yeah, and if Jesus were black, you know, we wouldn't have the same kind of worry, you know, because black people tend not to be like very high IQ subversion for their own purpose or whatever, you know.
Well, that's kind of why I figured out I would believe in Jesus if he was black, because if a bunch of black people wrote the Bible, I would be like, this has to be God. God has to be involved in this because there's no other way to explain it.
Okay, yeah, I mean that makes sense. That's valid, but just I guess how would you answer? Because I'm kind of coming up with my own. I mean, this is a question that I haven't thought very deeply about, just because I haven't heard the objections from like Handsome Truth and the other pagans and stuff. But they would just say that the Bible is a work of subversive Jews for subversive purposes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just say, well, no, I believe in Jesus because he's God, they're just going to say, how do you know? The only way you have information about Jesus is from the work of subversive people.
You can't, this is like, they're just atheists and you can't debate atheists. I don't believe in debating atheists. I just don't believe in it. Like they don't believe in God.
Answer to that question?
We're in different worlds. What the question of like, why do I worship a Jew? What is the question?
No, worse. It's worse than that. Why would you take, right? And this is how they would frame it. They would say, why would you take all of your fundamental religious information from people who are subversive?
Right.
Like,
well, again, but it's all the same answer.
Too.
I believe. That's why, because I don't believe what you believe. I believe it's God. I believe the Bible is the word of God. That's what I believe. So the answer to why do I believe the Bible is because I believe it came from God. Now, the answer to the question of why I believe is kind of long and complicated. And I'm not really interested in getting into it, especially with somebody who's never going to be satisfied. You know, I don't debate atheists because they're never going to be satisfied with any explanation for why you believe in God. So, you know, good luck to them, and especially good luck when you meet your maker. Good luck with all of that, guys. Yeah, you can't explain faith to people who don't have it. So
I sympathize with that. And in fact, you know, I mostly agree with that. I just think there just might be kind of a better response, even though they, you know, like you were saying, they're probably not going to accept it, you know, but me and Corey Mahler,
we went in and I was in there for 4 hours. I think
I listened to it. Yeah. I was working. I listened to it.
So at the end of the day, you can talk to these guys. You can explain everything about how you interpret the Bible and this and that. And at the end of the day, they're just going to be, so you really believe like 2 of each animal got on a boat? You're fucking it. And they're going to tip their fedora at you. And that's it. So you may as well, if you want to debate the pagans while you're at it, you may as well hop over onto r/Reddit and you may as well spend 6 hours a day posting on r/Reddit trying to convince those people. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? I'm
with you. And it's not really for them, because here's what I do know. You will run into people kind of joining the spheres, you know, young people and stuff, who have those exact questions, you know, and they want legitimate answers. Like, I'm not asking this, I guess, so that I could just be a Discord debate bro with, you know, those guys or anything like that. But I want to know, you know, when I'm talking to people at church or people who are interested in getting in the movement, because there's going to be people, especially you're going to have more interaction with these people who are legitimately asking,
sure,
why should I trust the Bible
sure,
if all the artifacts of Jews are like subversive?
Sure.
You know,
and for people like that, I would be happy to give a more detailed answer of why I believe in God, but you know, I've kind of gone into this over and over, and it's like a personal thing. It's like a personal thing. Like, everybody has their own reasons for why why they like chose to follow Jesus or whatever. And that's basically, at the end of the day, there's also this complicated thing about election, and like God kind of calls you to him. You know what I mean? Like,
I believe that.
Right. So
yeah.
If people haven't been called, like, that's not even really like, yes, you should give them the gospel, but also everybody has the gospel now. So it's kind of like, you know, I like to try to be helpful, and I like to try to encourage people in that direction. But I also think the best thing you can do is just like live a good life And that's like, because that to me is the most compelling argument. People look at Christians and like, look, you know, oh, look at this guy. He's got his shit together. He owns a house. He's got a family, lots of children, you know. Maybe there's some, maybe he knows something. Maybe he knows something about how to live life that like this other guy who's like a 45-year-old bachelor with no kids and like living in an apartment that he rents. Or anyway, I'm gonna move. I gotta go to some other calls. So
no problem. Good to hear from you, bro. We'll talk later.
Yeah, thank you, man. Have a good one.
See you.
All right, Frankie Flowers, what's up, man?
Hey, LP, you mentioned earlier on the show that I could call in today and we could talk a little bit about cannabis. We
can if
I wanted to talk about it.
Audio situation
I chose to smoke a
doesn't
joint
have
while
like
talk about it.
I see that, but I'm also concerned that there's like a huge delay between me talking and you picking it up. I suspect maybe you're not listening through StreamYard. You're like listening through the stream for some reason. What are you doing? Are you streaming yourself somewhere? What's going on here? Because we've never had these problems before when you've called in. See this delay? This is the delay.
I actually... Yeah, I just turned it off. I have that. I'm doing a 24/7 still, I'm doing this 24/7 Rumble channel. So I just turned OBS off. So hopefully it'll resolve itself in the next couple seconds.
Okay, but you're in StreamYard, right? You're not like watching the YouTube video and talking to me through that?
Yes, No, sir. I'm in the StreamYard right now.
Okay, well,
like I said, the OBS was running, and that takes a lot of resources, right?
So, all right. Well, maybe it's working. So why don't you let it rip?
Okay, so I mean, look, man, like you used cannabis before, you don't use it anymore, and I can appreciate that. You know, to each his own. But from like, for example, I'm in Canada, right, and we've legalized cannabis in 2018. I've been an advocate for legalization since the early 2000s. I'm actually one of the first members of Normal Canada, the National Organization for Reforming Marijuana Laws. And my job is as an instructor at a college teaching industrial cannabis production technology and quality assurance for cannabis. So I'm steeped in this culture and I know the science. And, you know, like I said, I'm not going to judge someone for what their personal opinion is. But if you want to talk about the scientific element of it, like, is it addictive, you know, like those types of things, we can discuss that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my opinion is all reefer heads should hang. What do you think about that? We ought to make it a capital crime,
problem, right? Like,
yeah.
See, a lot of your audience is going to be polarized on this, and I understand, right? There are people that it's all drug use is degenerate, and you know I can understand that perspective. But like I tend to take that, like when I was younger and I learned about cannabis, like cannabis kind of opened me up to thinking critically about the world.
Oh my God! Okay, hold on. Let me stop you and give you my real argument. Okay. Weed doesn't make anybody's life better. It just makes you slower. It makes you stupider. It makes you lazier. It makes you more empathetic and not in a good way. It turns you into like a little bitch, basically, which is why hippies have like the reputation they have of being like retarded pacifists with no real conviction. And the knockout study for this is that there's like nobody alive who has ever been like a daily pothead who quit smoking weed, who then says like, wow, my life was better when I was stoned all the time. Those people don't exist. Nick Rocheford of MDE, Sam Hyde's buddy, he finally quit weed and he's like, I can't believe I was like doing that for so long. Like I can actually think now, you know, and that's everybody who quits weed is like, wow, I can actually think now. And you have dreams when you don't smoke weed. Weed cuts you off from your dreams, which there's probably all kinds of like new agey reasons why that's bad, but I just like dreaming personally. So the real art, you know, I'm joking about killing people and all that, and I don't really care about the legality, but the real argument is just that it does not make your life better. And the fact that you're telling yourself it is proof that there is a degree of addiction there. You just don't want to quit because your life would be better if you did quit. So the question to you is, how does weed make your life better? And I hope you have a better answer than it taught me how to think critically. I really hope you got something better than that.
Yeah. Well, I would say to look at it from the scientific and the neurochemical perspective, right? So THC is an anti-inflammatory, so it helps, I'm going to go into the health effects, and I can see you smirking already, but I just want you to kind of listen to what I have to say here, right? Mm-hmm. So THC is an anti-inflammatory. It's a immunoregulatory, right? It's a cannabinoid, so it's also like a painkiller. It binds to the painkiller receptors in the brain. The terpenes that are in cannabis that make up the flavor and the aroma, like those have, the same similar properties, right? But the key thing that I like getting into is that THC activates an enzyme in the brain called TNF alpha, and that means tumor necrotic factor alpha, right? So THC has been shown to actually slow the formation of tumors, and in certain cases, like slow down and stop tumor growth. Right. So scientifically, like they've tried to take THC and turn it into pills since the 1970s. Right. But it hasn't worked. And there's an individual in Canada called Rick Simpson who's created what he calls Rick Simpson oil, which he's been able to use. And anecdotally, people have said that it's actually cured them of different ailments that they have. Right. So the key thing is, look, when in the show, I mentioned attenuators. Right. And what I mean in that context is it amplifies or dulls different signals in the brain, right? So it slows your reaction time, and like I don't deny the negative health effects that it can have in some people, but the idea is that, like the South Park has this funny anecdote where Stan's dad catches him smoking cannabis and says, "Look, son, cannabis is fine, but cannabis makes you happy being bored. And it's when you're bored that you should be going out and learning an activity and being productive, right?" And what I argue is, if you look at some of the most like wealthy and successful people, like Warren Buffett, they admit to smoking cannabis every day, and they're some of the most successful people on the planet, right? Myself, from being in the cannabis industry and working in the cannabis industry, like I've made more money doing what I do than I ever have in my life. And it's not a brag.
Yeah, you're a drug dealer.
With legalization,
it's like you could run a casino and say the same thing, man. I know it's legal. It's still a drug, though.
Well, here's the thing.
I gotta tell you, it slows your reaction time. Was not really the knockout argument I was hoping for. I gotta tell you, man. And look, and I smoked weed. And when I quit, and I would play video games like all day, or like whenever I was. So I would come home from work, get high, and then I would play video games all evening and all weekend. When I wasn't working, I would play video games. And then I quit weed, and it's just like you said. It was like, what the fuck? I can't play video games for 6 hours. It's literally boring. I have to do something with my life. And then my life improved so much. Now, you can always point to the exceptions to the rule. You know what I mean? Stan Getz, the saxophone player from the girl from Ipanema and other such samba classics. He was a daily heroin user who lived a long life and had a successful music career. He was divorced 4 times and he beat his wives, but he never went to jail. So he basically, you could say this guy was a very productive heroin junkie. There's always going to be functional addicts, but they're the exception to the rule. You can't point to those people as examples of why you should do this.
Yeah, that's fair. I would say, if you look at it from a meta perspective, we've legalized cannabis in Canada. In the United States, you have multiple states, 30 or more states now, that have their own laws about cannabis. The federal government's talking about legalizing cannabis all around the world, Europe, Germany, etc. the world consensus seems to be more about normalizing cannabis use. It's not that bad, right? And the other thing I want to mention is cannabis is the most researched illegal drug in the world, yet there are no cases in medical literature of people dying from lung cancer from cannabis smoke. And that's cannabis as it on its own. Don't mix it with tobacco, things of that nature, right? They've been studying this since 1967. Dr. Lester Grinspoon talks about this. This is one of the key elements, right? Because any doctor will tell you if you set something on fire and inhale the smoke from it, that you're taking in carcinogens, tar, carbon monoxide, etc. So it would make sense that you would develop symptoms of lung cancer from doing this. But with cannabis, why is cannabis so much different than tobacco, inhaling burnt plastic? What is it about cannabis? And I mentioned before, TNF alpha in the brain, right? THC activates this enzyme that stops that from forming. So you can smoke cannabis and not develop these physical symptoms. But look, man, addiction is powerful and it's individual. It's about the person, right? So I really appreciate that you feel like your life improved from not using cannabis. And if you feel that it did, I encourage you to do so. But the thing is that people use cannabis as a cope. And a lot of people use other things as a cope. And if you use anything to cope in life, then you're going to abuse it. And you shouldn't be doing that, right?
Do you smoke weed every day?
I do, sir.
That's not abuse, right? You're not abusing it though, right? That just gets you through the day.
No. Well, here's the funny thing, right? Like I've smoked probably a gram a day on average. You know, it goes up and down here and there, but it's been like that for 20 years. So what addictive drug can you use the same amount of over and over and over again and not develop a dependency to it? I also take tolerance.
What do you mean there's no dependency? There is a dependency. You're smoking it every day. Well, how's that? How are you not dependent? Go a week without weed and then call me back.
Right? Like, well, I do two, right? So a 2-week tolerance break, right? Because it takes 72 hours to get THC to get out of your bloodstream, right? But it takes about 30 days for it to completely get out for drug testing purposes. But for the purposes of resetting your body to a state of homeostasis, right, then you'd only need 72 hours. But I'll give 2 weeks as a tolerance break. And you're right, man, the things change. But the idea, though, is that this is part of my identity. This is my career. It's what I do. So, you know, I feel like I'm within the scope of being able to use cannabis regularly. And when you work in these industries, like in these legal cannabis businesses in Canada, smoking weed is a part of the job, right? We understand that if you smoke regularly, you know, you develop a tolerance to it and you're not zonked out of your mind, you know, when you're working. You know, in a lot of cases like THC, it's like I said, it's an attenuator. It makes work more enjoyable. Like, you know, Ricky's thing, right? Like janitors, doctors, real estate agents, everybody, you know, you smoke weed and you enjoy your job a little bit more. You know, if you think life sucks, then smoking weed makes you feel a little bit better. But hey, you got to work to make your life better. You don't just like sit on the couch and play video games. Dude, I talk about infrastructural psychosis. Video games is a form of operant conditioning that's been perfected by B.F. Skinner over decades.
Okay, hold. Yeah, Skinner box. Yeah, I know. Listen, prove potheads are retarded with this one simple trick, okay? Does weed smell good?
Weed smells like a lot of different things.
Do you like the smell of weed? Do you? No, I'm saying, do you like the smell of weed, or do you think, oh man, that stinks?
Well, I learned the different types of smells, so I've learned to like discern like different types of cannabis. Remember, I said they're terpenes, right? Terpenes can resemble all sorts of different things.
Weed stinks. Like it stinks. So it's pollution.
It gets in your clothes.
It should be illegal to have that stuff outside the house and to smoke it out because it stinks so bad. I smell it and I'm like, ugh, pothead. I smell a cigarette. We've talked about this before. I smell a cigarette smoke. I'm like, ooh, nice. Now, not everybody likes the smell of cigarettes, but I've been addicted to both. I still like the smell of cigarettes. I do not like the smell of weed. It's too strong. And also it just like puts like a contempt in me when I'm like, oh, there's fucking reefer heads around here. They're probably talking about how they want to like trans their kids or something. That's not that funny, but I couldn't come up with anything better.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, man. Cigarette smoke specifically, like there are 3,000 chemicals in cigarette smoke, right? So the benzene, all those other things, those are carcinogens. So when you're breathing in tobacco smoke, you're breathing in carcinogens. At the very least, like when you breathe in cannabis smoke, there is THC in it, and the THC helps to mitigate some of the negative effects of the smoke. To each their own, right? Like I personally don't smoke cigarettes. I've never smoked cigarettes. I don't drink alcohol. Like I do socially, but not that much. Alcohol leaves these deposits in your liver because your liver, and over time you can develop cirrhosis.
Yeah.
But with all the behaviors, man, you can become addicted to all sorts of different behaviors.
Sure. Look,
cannabis
man,
has some benefits to it, and I appreciate those.
Yeah, I don't think it's that benefit. You're just better off without it, basically. And you'll never convince me otherwise. Can you get away with smoking lots of weed? Sure you can. And if that's what you want to do, it's your life. It's like you could watch porn every day and maybe have a functional life. Should you? Is it making your life better? I say no. And it's as simple as that. So I don't really care about the legality and stuff that much. It's not really an issue I care about. I just want people who are potheads to know that they'll have better lives if they stop being potheads. It's as simple as that. For me.
Well, look, LP, I think morally we agree on that, right? Like I don't like vices. I don't think people should engage in behaviors that are bad for their soul and that they feel as though they can't control, right? So with cannabis, you can abuse it and you can, start to warp this negative view that the cannabis is making your life worse. And then if you remove the cannabis from the equation, then of course you're going to feel as though your life is better. But I don't.
Well, you're actually going to feel irritable at first because you're going to be like, I can't function unless I'm stoned. But when you actually clear your mind, then you'll start to feel better.
Well, I can explain the neuroscience of that, right?
That's okay.
When you engage in behaviors repetitively, you do. Do you say that's okay? That's fine. I don't have to explain it.
I don't want to spend the whole show on this because there's like other people who want to call in.
Oh, absolutely. That's fair. Thanks for entertaining the concept, right? And I say I advocate for cannabis. So cheers. And all respect to you. I love You Can't Stop Progress and respect to chat, right?
So when you say you advocate for cannabis, you mean, do you think everyone should smoke weed? Do you think the world would be better if everybody was lighting up once a day or more?
No, absolutely not. I don't. Because look, man, there's so many low IQ people in the world, right, that they can't function if you give them cannabis, right? Like they can barely function in a Western European society as it is.
Well, we didn't even get into the whole schizo trigger, schizophrenic. Some people there's been murders that have been caused by weed. It's rare, but you'll bite that bullet, right? Like there's people who have gotten stoned and then they've committed murder because they had a schizophrenic break or whatever they call it.
Yeah, dude, a couple of days ago, a guy murdered a guy at KFC because of his gravy, right? People are going to do crazy shit for stupid reasons, right? But I don't deny the schizophrenia thing, right? Because there are scientific studies that definitively show that on the developing brain, if you have a predisposition to schizophrenia, that cannabis can exacerbate those symptoms, right? So
some percent, right? So some. I don't advocate for. But here's the thing: don't those studies show that some people they're kind of normal, and then the weed turns them schizophrenic? So you're advocating for a world where people roll the dice and maybe completely ruin their life because they smoke one joint, but hopefully they don't completely ruin their life forever by turning themselves schizophrenic.
Well, I would argue with how many people use cannabis around the world and the amount of cases of schizophrenia that we have, that it is on the probabilistic scale very low, right? Alcohol.
Yeah. So just roll the dice. Just roll the dice. And hope it works out.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It'll lower your reaction time. Guys, yeah, you might go crazy and never be normal again, but on the bright side, that probably won't happen, and it will lower your reaction time. So, worth it. I think we all agree, worth it.
It'll increase. It increases your creativity. It makes you more relaxed. If you have joint problems, inflammation, it can help with those joint problems. It can help with insomnia. It can level people out, right? Alcohol can make
Too many young men
aggressive.
have quit day drinking to smoke pot.
So there
We
are
need a
positives to it as well.
So real. All right, man. I'm gonna take some of these other calls, but thank you, man. That was fun.
Drinking, smoke pot.
All right. All right. Cheers, brother. Ted's dead. You're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take? Hello.
Oh, my settings. Give me one sec. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
I cannot hear anything.
All right.
No, y'all can hear me.
Daily Nope. You're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take? I almost said Daily Nope. What's up?
Hey, what's up, LP? I just joined. I've been wanting to call in actually for the last couple of weeks. It's not a troll or nothing, and I can email you if you don't want to talk about it here. But you mentioned a few times about your congestion, and I had congestion issues for a long time that I cured. I could tell you about it now, or I could email you or whatever.
Well, why don't you give us the Coles notes since you're here?
Basically, the short of it, and this everybody should know about this. Really, is literally years of going to naturopath and Chinese doc, and just constant congestion issues is the short of it. Yeah, I can tell you the long story maybe separately, but the answer was 2 months, a really clean diet, a couple rounds of really a solid liver flush, and it's just all natural protocol where you basically sip cherry concentrate throughout the week to stimulate your liver, and then on on day 7 you drink some Epsom salt, which is a laxative, but then you add grapefruit juice and olive oil, and that just flushes out your liver. That really helped me. And then I was also pairing it with parasite flush, and if you're on the parasite pill train, I went down that rabbit hole a year ago because my issues kind of started when I came back from South America a long time ago. And yeah, and if you get into the parasite conspiracy stuff, everybody has parasites is the hypothesis, and it's actually a root cause for a lot of illnesses and inflammation, because really the idea is that inflammation, systemic inflammation, often caused by gut issues, leads to all kinds of surface level things that we give different names.
Right.
But really the idea is that you get to the core of it. It's just you're inflamed for some reason, probably because your gut is pissed off, or your liver. We're all backed up and not just moving stuff out of you and detoxing properly.
Well, my liver is really healthy as far as I can tell from my blood work, but I have thought about the parasite cleanse thing, but I never know what to actually do because there's so much kookery. It's what do you just buy ivermectin and start pounding it, or what?
I went all out. I did this a year ago, and it was literally after a decade of suffering, I cured myself in 2 months. It was crazy. But I did kind of everything, so it's a little hard to say exactly what worked.
Right.
So I did the diet, I did liver flush, I did do ivermectin and fenbendazole or whatever, but also the natural traditional way is, and there's a lot of over-the-counter herbal parasite things which have wormwood, black walnut, and I think clove is traditional oils. And there's products capsules for that you could try if you don't want to get the ivermectin.
Okay.
But just start with the liver flush. It's literally, it's one of these things, it's liver is so important. Even if you think it's healthy, maybe it is, but kind of anybody and everybody should be doing liver flushes once a year is actually
okay. I don't have to fast or anything. I just drink grapefruit juice or whatever. And
well, so yeah, what I found this,
whatever you said.
What I did was basically had a vegetarian diet for the week. Really simple, no complex fats and proteins. So you go easier in your liver just for a week. And throughout each of those days, you're sipping cherry juice concentrates. It has malic acid that stimulates your liver and your gallbladder. And then on the last day, you like I said, I can email you the protocol. It's a little bit more detailed, but you drink a solution of Epsom salt, which is a laxative, but you combine that with grapefruit juice and olive oil, and that just kind of clears up all your ducts in your kidneys, in your gallbladder, and your liver.
Yeah, okay. Okay, why don't you send me the email and I'll see what is manageable. Diet stuff is a little bit hard for me because I just like we all eat dinner to get like the whole family of like 5-6 people, but maybe I can, if it's just for a week, maybe I can be a burden on my wife.
For sure. What is your email again?
It is lporiginalg@gmail.com.
All right. Yeah, I'll send you all the details. Yeah, I listen to you all the time. Then I hear you stuffed up, and I'm like, fuck, I know what that's like.
Yeah.
So.
Nice. All right, man. Thank you.
All right, man. Appreciate all you do. Thanks.
Cheers. Excuse me. Sneed, man, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take? Sneed, man, can't hear you. Do not hear nothing. I can come back to you if you want. Revelator, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, yeah, man. Nice to see you. It's been a minute.
Yeah, what's up, man?
I always had work during this time, but this storm has for both because like on the East Coast, this storm happened twice, every 2 weeks. So before it was just ice, but now it's snow. It does look beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of does. But just seeing the whole Epstein stuff, right? And, Nick's masterclass really just explaining the whole thing last night. To me, it's just...
I didn't watch, for the record.
I recommend you do because it was. I know people always say it, but that show was a particularly good one. His monologue about the whole like system of blackmail and how people need to focus on that versus just pedo, right? Not saying that there allegedly was pedophilia, but it's like, but that's not the thing you should be focusing on the most.
Mm-hmm.
It's that, they did that in service of another crime, to blackmail people, to make them subservient to Jews, world Jewry in Israel, which I agree with. I feel like the Epstein hoodie, the Epstein quarter zip. Hey man, it really is the ultimate troll. I will give it that. But I just with the whole Iran war thing, right? Because you were saying that that hadn't happened yet, but it's like I kind of feel like, do you feel like now more it's inevitability because of the whole situation going on? Because Trump earlier this week, he was like, oh, if Iran doesn't basically just surrender everything, he is threatening to actually send U.S. troops to dismantle places in Iran. So it's like, what do you think?
Well, I didn't even hear that. Like, I don't, I haven't listened to Nick in a while because it's just the timing just doesn't line up. And then I just don't care about geopolitics. It feels like so far removed from my life. Like if we go to Iran, okay, like Nick was right. That's great for him, but it has like no real effect on my life. Like I can't stop it. I can't. It's like that prayer. Give me the worry about things I can control or whatever it is. Like it's outside of my sphere of concern because there's nothing I can do about it. It's like worrying about if aliens come and rape me. You know what I mean? Like if that happens, that happens. I don't worry about stuff I can actually do anything about. So I don't make predictions or anything like that. So am I willing to do the Nick victory lap yet? No. Wait, call me when the war actually starts.
All right. Okay. Trust me, I will when it does. It's
okay.
Only a matter of time. But I understand where you're coming from, but it's like, but geopolitics, it does matter. It's one of those things where it's like, it only quote unquote matters to you in your real life when it's too late. So you have to care before it, is a real issue to you.
Sure.
It's like, I don't know. It's kind of weird to say that,
No, I know what you mean. Like if we go to war with Iran, then this is what I'm saying. Then Nick telling people not to vote for Trump is like a lot more, defensible back that he did that. Of course, we'll never know what life would have been like with President Kamala Harris.
Well, hold on. He didn't. Well, yeah, he did say that, but it was more that he just wanted people to demand actual things from Trump.
Yeah, and I think he was right. I think he was right to do that. So like you're kind of preaching to the choir. but like back to the thing of like, well, you know, it's now we're at war and you should have like cared about that before. It's like I couldn't stop it last year. I couldn't stop it. Whatever's gonna happen, there was no point in time where me caring about it actually mattered, quite frankly. Like I'm a streamer, you know what I mean?
But what do you think? Yeah, you know, I see where you're coming from, but what
to me, like that stuff is like, it's like cloak and dagger, whatever. Like if you're interested in politics because it's fun for you to like pay attention to, great. But you're not really doing anything unless you're an actual player on the board. You're just, it's like watching sports ball, but for people who like politics.
I see that. Well, I think that's why Nick is, you know, doing his best to become an actual player on the board, and it's working, man. All these people are talking about him, and like, you know, Yahoo called him out by name. Everyone's talking about him, and it's like, hey, you know, he has influence, he has power, and you know.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not saying Nick shouldn't talk about politics. He's good at what he does, and there are lots of people who like to pay attention to that stuff. I'm just not really one of them to the same degree as a lot of people.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
But what do you think of the whole Epstein thing yourself? Like, you know, because a lot of people have been, you know, saying, you know, what Nick is doing is, you know, that's evil, blah, blah, blah. What do you think personally, honestly, of the whole thing?
So as for like my take on Nick's whole, like he was just like trolling basically is kind of how it came across to me. Like he was just being like provocative to piss people off. So that's something that he'll do if he feels like it. I would prefer if he didn't do that. I would prefer if he wasn't like, you know, it's cool. They're just like sex trafficking 17-year-olds. It's no big deal or what. I don't know exactly what he said, but like I would prefer if he was just like, you know, this is bad, but I don't, because I don't care. I get the whole thing. It's all like a kind of a show and whatever. And I know he doesn't actually think that sex trafficking is good. So I don't, you know, as far as that's concerned, I don't really care. As far as like what I've seen from the leaks, it feels like it's hard, you know, a lot of people are like posting these tweets and like you literally like they'll post a tweet and be like, here's Epstein saying this, and you read the email and it's like not what he's saying. But some of the emails are kind of crazy. Like did you torture her or whatever was one of the ones I saw, and I'm like, damn, like these people are evil, you know, basically. What my take on what I've seen is that it confirms that actually there was some really bad shit going on, probably.
Yeah, and the thing is though, like Nick agrees. He's repeatedly said it's evil, but he said he was cool. That doesn't mean that what he's doing is good. Hey, I think Genghis Khan's cool. Is he a good person?
Right.
No.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
Yeah, so it's provocative. I'm not a big fan, but it's whatever. It's Nick being Nick, so
yeah. Let me just say one last thing. I think it actually is necessary.
Cat Respecter sent $5.
Thank you, Cat Respecter. Okay, you think it's necessary to say Epstein was cool? All right, continue.
No, in a way, kind of, because it's like. The thing is, it's more of an age of consent thing, right? Because it's like he's saying that because of the hysteria that people have with people of that age, where if you're like a 22-year-old and you have a 17-year-old girlfriend, these people will literally pedophile, and it's just like, that's just not true. It's just like the 14-year-old, like, because like with the Epstein thing, the 14-year-old, that's the lowest confirmed age. Not saying it's okay, but it's by definition it's not that. And I feel like people just abuse that word.
David Bowie banged a 14-year-old. David Bowie used to bang a. I'm saying David Bowie banged 14-year-olds. So.
Not saying it's okay. Not saying it's okay. But it's
and I'm gonna go on the record and say David Bowie is cool. So I mean, I kind of get it.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Not necessarily that he should have did that, but
So you get it, but
yeah, I get it,
man. But thanks, LP. I don't want to take any more of your time.
All right, man. Always good to hear from Nick's strongest soldier.
His strongest black soldier. I
Yeah.
guess. Right,
Good, yeah, good qualifier. All right. Cheers, man. Sneed man, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take? Nope, not working. Sorry. Ked's dead. You're live on the Daily Cope. What's
Dude,
your
my
take?
shit's still not working.
No,
Crazy.
can you hear me, dude? I hear you.
Give me one sec.
I'll come back to you. Gray Mouser, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Hey, what's up?
Not much.
So, I was minding my own business, scrolling through Twitter last night, and I see a post from Andy No, and it says, I'll try and keep this brief. Portland jury has awarded the Antifa member and former owner Abram Goldman Armstrong, pictured below, of defunct Antifa pump Cider Riot, hundreds of thousands of dollars in economic damages for a May Day 2019 brawl. Now, here's the thing. If you scroll down and see who's been sued and who owes money, it's me. So I found out on Twitter last night that I knew I was being sued. I had no idea we were going to lose this. So I lost this lawsuit last night.
What were you sued for?
I was sued for the riot in front of a Antifa bar called Cider Riot back in 2019.
Okay, you'll have to forgive me because I don't know who you are. Are you like a Proud Boy or something? Like what?
No, I'm not affiliated, but it was back in the commie punching days. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what happened? Because I have no idea what you're talking about. So tell us what happened in 2019.
Okay. There was a fight between two groups. The Patriot side or whatever you want to call them, doesn't matter,
Sure.
and an Antifa side, and it was it went on for about 45 minutes, so it was a long battle, and yeah, some people got roughed up, some people got hurt. Andy No was actually there filming the whole thing. And before I was even eventually arrested by federal agents 3 months later and served a little bit of time before being released, they were already suing me. Now, last year I called the lawyer that was involved with the defense of the Patriot side, and I said, I've been getting this stuff in the mail saying I'm sued for years, and I've just been throwing it in the trash. And he's like, yeah, this is going nowhere. The plaintiff, Abram Goldman Armstrong, he's fled the country. He's now resides in Norway. The police, he's wanted for destroying evidence. And because if you live in Portland, if you live in a leftist state and an Antifa member wants to sue you, you just might get sued.
So let me ask you something. So you got mail telling you were being sued and you didn't hire a lawyer and respond to the lawsuit? You just ignored the lawsuit.
I did, and then I talked to the lawyers and they're like, this is going nowhere. This is ridiculous. Just ignore it. And and the other thing is they said
you should sue your lawyer, man. That doesn't sound like good advice. Ignore the lawsuit. My advice, I'm not a lawyer, but my advice would be respond to the lawsuit with a legal argument for why you should win the lawsuit.
Hold on. I did at first.
Yeah.
Now the litigant fled the country. You see?
Yeah.
So I was like, he owed the other thing was he owed the legal fees because he kept I think he countersued the lawyer and lost, or he owes him legal fees. So he owed the lawyer like $50,000 for worth of legal fees, which he would owe the lawyer if he ever returned to the country. So the whole thing just sounded like, win-win. It was wrapped up. I think what we need to be focusing on here is.
Are you just going to ignore the judgment now? What are you going to do?
Me? Well,
Yeah. Are you gonna
because
flee
I've
the
lived off
country?
the grid for so long, it's not going to affect me.
Well, what's the wait? Didn't you say you owe hundreds of thousands of dollars or something? Or
It said, well, on paper I owe $50,000, but you know,
yeah, just
between
ignore
owing $50,000, they need to have a way to collect $50,000.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, so usually if you don't pay, they'll go for like a garnish your wages like order or
What
something.
wages? What wages?
Yeah, based. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, just ignore it. This is legal advice, by the way. If you get a judgment first, just ignore it. Yeah. Well, I hope it works out for you, man, because fuck commies.
Well, look, there's definitely guys in this scenario that are just going to take it in the teeth. Now, because of my background,
right?
I mean, I haven't had a boss in decades, so get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
as far
I
as
do.
assets
Yeah.
can be turned over to, well, theoretically, can be turned over into other people's names where it's no longer your asset anymore. But maybe it is, you know?
Yeah. Maybe this guy has an accident over there in Fiji or wherever he is. Who knows? Maybe he falls off a boat. Maybe he falls off a boat somewhere.
No, the thing is, there's theoretical money that can be taken from me. But if I just follow a few steps, there is no money that can be taken from me because on paper, there's no money.
Gotcha.
Right.
Well, good.
So,
I hope that works out.
Well, let me end with there are consequences to doing these things, IRL guys. So every time I've called in, it's about that. I'm not even sure if anybody that listens to the show, well, there's got to be somebody that listens to the show that goes out to these events and whatnot. So, you know, just be, if you get, if you get pinched or, hung up, don't be surprised. I mean, the entire power structure is against you.
Yeah. So join Patriot Front is what you're saying.
Join Patriot Front?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to hang
Patriot
banners
Front
and
then
march
go-
around in masks.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Yeah, no, I was kind of joking.
Yeah. Well, my involvement back in the day was a little more serious than marching around and, with flags and doing banner drops. So, like I said, there are consequences to these things.
Yeah. Well, good luck evading the federal government and the Jewish lawyers. I really hope it works out for you, man.
I'll be fine.
Nice. All right, Garrett. All right, man. Thanks for calling. Okay, man. I'm expecting a judgment in my lawsuit, or at least on our motion to dismiss. I don't want to, because they assigned a new judge and it's been like so long, and so I'm expecting to hear something. The judge is black, so I hope he doesn't watch my video called "I'm Racist." I hope the judge doesn't I hope the judge is cool with me being a white supremacist, the black judge on my lawsuit. Sneed Man, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello?
Hello.
Ah, good. Third time's the charm. I had to try on my phone. Anyway, I kind of want to call in every week, but I always kind of miss it. But I wanted to talk about get involved in your local politics, because maybe you can hear it from my accent, but I'm in Germany. And here I joined the local chapter of the AfD, and it's been kind of rewarding. I mean, it's kind of gay because they're not really that right wing, but it's still better than the alternative. And also for all the people that are involved doing stuff on Twitter and always simply complaining isn't really as rewarding as meeting people that kind of think the same thing as you and being able to interchange with that in person.
So when you say get involved, you're talking about like joining? It sounds like you're talking about joining an organization. Like I was just joking about Patriot Front, which I didn't mean to like act like I was against them or whatever. I was just like playing off what the guy said. But you're saying something like that is what it sounds like. You're not like it, or do you mean more like actual politics? Like what do you? Yeah. So join a club is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, in America, I don't even know how.
Because if I go down to the local city council here,
you have to join the Republican Party. But
if I go to my local, whatever, like city council meeting here in Olympia, where there's a bunch of like troons, I'm not going to be meeting a bunch of like-minded people. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, the same thing is also true for me. Literally, in my people in the, I don't know if there's trannies there, but I know that people from Antifa are directly involved here in my local government.
Yeah,
and are on the Green Party is also very strong. So it's not really that you fix everything with simply being present. I don't really think that but simply being actually involved in the levers that can create change, and not simply only complaining and only being a spectator.
I agree.
To become an active participant in what actually happens.
Are you able to go into more detail about what you're actually doing, or?
Well, yes, I'm running for local office, and the chances that I will get into at least maybe one, maybe two of the local councils here is actually pretty high. So it's nice. I don't want to go too into detail because doing certain things in Germany is actually a crime.
Yeah.
So it's not too, it's not really that at liberty to say a lot of things, and I would rather keep my identity and my location a little bit anonymous. But it's simply when you're gonna get involved in politics, we wouldn't really have a majority on the council, but simply already being there and being able to take part in the vote, because a lot of the meetings aren't really majority, and even in the local councils it's kind of different from in the big government where every individual member of the party always votes on the party line.
Yeah.
In the small elections, it's much more likely that the council members vote their actual own opinion and not the party line. So it's much easier to get people to vote on the more traditional lists.
I agree. Local politics is like a lot probably better use of the average person's time. As for like getting,
and I don't even mean actually the
like for you getting elected, just out of curiosity,
think that
like are you campaigning? Are you putting up posters and going door to door, or is this just one of these things where it's like nobody runs, so you just put your name on the ballot and hope it works out? I'm just curious.
No, I have posters.
Okay.
I have posters and flyers and you can do a lot of things. You have to put them up yourself, obviously, because you don't really have a big amount of volunteers, but you also have the local members of your party that also maybe help you out with putting up posters. And the districts are relatively small. Mm-hmm. They're not that big, so doing a lot of the stuff yourself is really a possibility.
Cool, man. Well, I'm gonna be wrapping up the show here, so hit us with your final thoughts.
Yeah, I also wanted to simply mention one more thing to all the other Catholics that are maybe in chat. Go on a pilgrimage. Go on a pilgrimage by foot. I recently went to a pilgrimage. Maybe it's I think it was like it took me about 80 kilometers. Something like that, which is, I don't know how much, I think it would be like 40 miles, something like that, and I walked that by foot. And doing that really helps you on a spiritual level. I find it to be very rewarding to do a pilgrimage and connect with one of the foundational Christian traditions.
Nice. Cool, man. Cool. Well, good luck with the election. I hope it works out.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Sneed Man. I wanted to be like Heil Hitler, but they'll like arrest him where he's at. So maybe not that funny. Yeah, that's gonna be the show for today. Thank you everybody for watching. Thanks to the people sending super chats. Appreciate it. YCSP returns tomorrow. And I'm still working on trying to get guests for Wednesday for the show, so we'll see how that goes. You guys have a good weekend. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace out.